In this video, I will show you how to work practically with loudness. I'm Pierre-Yves Mutreux with TWR Europe and the Global Audio and Acoustics team. I will use this example where you see on the top the waveform of the example I'm using, and at the bottom you have a representation of the loudness. If you see here, the first section is louder than the second section. And the difference is difficult to evaluate if you look at the waveform, but if you look at the loudness graph in a real environment, you will see that the loudness is 13.5 loudness unit quieter for the second part. And no need to say this is not ready for broadcast. Now, the classical way of correcting loudness or matching the loudness is to make a peak normalization. This is what I did in this example. You see that the first part, the purple one, and the second part, the blue one, have the same peak levels. But if you look at the loudness graph, you see that there is still a loudness difference. If you look carefully, you can tell that the blue part of the audio file is more skinny, less dense, less loud, quieter, than the first part. There's still 4.4 loudness unit difference between the first and the second part. Now, if you work with loudness, that's what you get. I didn't touch the first part because it's already on target loudness, and the second part I brought up to the target loudness, and as you see, the peaks got higher. In this example, the peaks are 3 decibel higher for the blue part versus the purple part. But who cares? It's the same loudness. So it's the same impression. When you listen to the file, you think the first part, the second part are sounding as loud. Now, this loudness graph is not quite real. I made it up for this example. This is how it looks in reality. And this is my second example. You see here, there is a loudness drop of about 10 LU, which is enormous. This is not what you want for production. This file has minus 24 loudness unit full scale, minus 24 LUFS, and a loudness range of 11.5 LU. The LRA is 11.5 LU, which is enormous. Now, the first approach is to say, okay, I correct the whole file for loudness. This is what you get. Now the file, yes, is on target at minus 16 LUFS, but still has the same loudness dynamic of 11.5 LU. This is also not what you want. So what is the solution? As you can see, all the sections here of this file, you can identify them and loudness normalize each one of them individually. This is what I did here. Now you can see the loudness is consistent. There are small differences, but the impression of the loudness of this file is constant across the whole file. Now, the loudness of the file is on target at minus 16 LUFS, and the loudness range, LRA, is at 4.2 LU, which is what we want. Now, how to achieve this? Well, personally, I'm using Wavelab 8.5. This is what TWR Europe is recommending, but you're free to choose another one. The advantage I see in Wavelab 8.5 is that it has some tools built in. It has, first of all, the loudness graph, loudness representation versus the waveform graph. It has the loudness meter built in. It has a loudness analyzer. You can analyze the loudness for the whole file or for a section. And last but not least, you have a loudness normalizer. It's a built-in tool where you can take any piece of file and bring it to the loudness you want if it's not too far away. I will come back to these details on Wavelab 8.5 in a separate video. Now, if you don't have Wavelab 8.5, you can also buy some plugins that will help you measure loudness. Here are some examples. This is ALM 5.1 from BDSP. This is LCast from MeterPlugs. This is VisLM from NewGen Audio. This is LM2N from TC Electronics. And this is a standalone free meter from Orban. You can download and run it on your computer without having the need for a digital audio workstation. Now these are meters. You also find some programs, some tools, standalone to make loudness modification. This is one example, the LC2N from TC Electronics. This one has a watch folder. That means you can tell the program, watch this folder, and if a file gets in there, it will be processed automatically to the parameters that you programmed. This is LM Correct 2 from NewGen Audio, and this one, unlike any other programs, has dynamic processing. That means you can not only set the loudness level that you want, but you can set the LRA, the loudness range that you want. And I will just finish with another free plugin, which is not loudness-based, but it helps correct some loudness fluctuation in a file. You may want to try LoudMax, which is a free plugin, VST and other versions. This was my very basic introduction as to how to work with loudness. If you have more questions or comments, feel free to communicate either in the comment section below or write me an email. I'm Pierre-Yves Metreux with TWR Europe and the Global Audio and Acoustics team. Thanks for watching.